Hey YouTube, Nick here. Still got the friggin' flu, but still drinking, so that doesn't make sense, does it? Still smoking. So anyway, right. I've been thinking back in my younger days, 1980s, when I would have been 7 years old, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever, 13. And because I'm a father of 2 kids, and I just started thinking, all the shit I did when I was young in the 1980s is nothing compared to what my kids do today. As a father, I worry a lot about the safety of my kids. And it made me think, my parents when I was my kids' age, and me being 40, with my kids being this age, I think we're just stressed. I mean, I know I am. I'm just worried about my kids, their safety and stuff like that, jumping on a trampoline and doing backflips. Oh, mate, be careful, don't break your friggin' neck. Climbing a friggin' tree. Oh, mate, watch out, you're gonna fall. Doing backflips off the pool deck into the pool. Starting fires, playing with knives, playing with, not with guns, but with slingshots and shit like that. It just worries me, and I'm going, fuck me dead. Sorry about swearing, but I was a little deviant when I was young, and I'd like to hear other people's stories of when you were growing up in the 1980s, or 1970s, or 1940s, whatever, as long as you're telling stories between the age of 7 to 13, because I think that's when you're at your most deviant kind of stage where you're experimenting with stuff, life and death, or whatever it may be. And I can tell you some stories that I did, and some of the stories I shouldn't be here right now because I could have quite easily friggin' died. So where do I start? There's so many stories, but I guess we'll start up on firecracker night. Back in the 80s, we were allowed to have firecracker nights, so we could buy firecrackers, bungers, throwdowns, ball shooters, those long firecrackers, and you light it up and boom, 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 it shoots like 12 balls of magnesium, bright, burning, whatever it is. We had that. Every firecracker night we just went nuts. I lived next to a park, and we'd go there and we'd get the crazy jacks and throw at each other. We'd get the ball shooters and do a skirmish, shoot each other with ball shooters and stuff. Our shirts would be on fire, we'd rip it off, running around, but we'd laugh, and then at the end of the firecracker night, at the end of the big, things we did with the firecrackers, I had this little kind of home base behind my kind of incinerator, like a fireplace kind of thing, and there was a brick wall, so my parents could never see what I was doing, and I had a table there, and I'd grab all the firecrackers and all the the dead cartridges, whatever, and start making bungers, and get metal pipes and put them together and screw them together and get a wick and drill a hole and put the gunpowder in and put in a letterbox and blow the letterbox up. Not my letterbox obviously, because I got kicked in the ass, but the neighbours' letterboxes, and blow the thing up and literally blow it up where bricks are hanging off and shit's everywhere, and we thought that was fun and you could get away with it. And then, as being Australia, they banned firecrackers, so that went. When I was 11, I thought I was a ninja. Actually, when I was 10, I literally thought I was a ninja. I convinced my parents to put me in ninjutsu school, which I did for a year. I was just hooked on that bloke Sho Gosugi, that bloke that starred in Revenge of the Ninja, Ninja 3, all those ninja movies. And I literally thought I was a ninja. I had my cricket stump as my sword, put it in the back. I remember weeks and weeks of being in my father's garage and getting the saw blade off his bench saw, whatever. And with perfect precision, I measured it, mathematically and all this shit, drilled a hole perfectly, cut it into a 4-figure star, sharpened every single side of it, and made about 5 ninja stars. And like deadly, like these ninja stars would slice paper, you'd throw them, bang, straight into a wooden fence, straight into a tree. You know, carried those with me. You know, I made little hook things so I can climb up walls and shit, which didn't work, but anyway, I tried. You know, made 3 nunchuckers, made 3 staff nunchuckers, you know, the staff, but it's broken in 3 with chains, so you got the 3 things. I'd be playing with it and then bang, knock me in the back of the head and knock myself out. I even convinced my mum to buy me ninja boots, you know, the actual ninja boots with the, you know, with the toe split thing, and even practice throwing ninja stars with my toe, you know, like that, you know. You know, then I'd dress up in all black, you know, tie a black scarf around my face and jump on my roof on my house. And where I grew up, our houses were pretty close, so I'd jump from house to house around the whole. I lived in a dead-end street, so I'd jump on my roof, walk across the wall, go into the neighbour's roof, then just climb around the whole street on the roof, just staying there. Made a friggin' blowgun, made a bow and arrow. Had a BB gun, so I'd have my BB gun with me. I know it's not a ninja tool, but anyway, I was a modern ninja. You know, cars would drive past, you know, I'd shoot the window and psh, and you hear the car, you know, all that shit, you know what I mean? Fuck, what else did I do? You know, good old BMX, you know, riding through the canals, you know, the storm drains, whatever, you know, that's how I got around my suburbs, basically. I'd travel 3, 4, 5 suburbs in the canals. Just, you know, get your BMX, drop it down the canal, ride along, you know, you're riding along, no traffic, no worries about cars. You know, you come across those little runoffs of that greeny shit dripping off, and your tyre would slip and you'd friggin' fall over and land in the shitty water, and you get up, you wouldn't give a fuck, you just keep going. You know, might divert into a little thinner little storm drain and go somewhere, and, you know, we never got lost, you know, we always knew where we were. You know, we'd disappear. We'd leave home at 10 o'clock in the morning and not get back to 10 o'clock at night. No mobile phones back then, so the parents couldn't even contact us. But yeah, we'd get home and the parents would go, "Where were you?" "No, I was just riding." And they go, "Alright, no worries, go to bed." It's just different days, eh? I remember once, we were in a storm drain, and the council let the fucking floodgates go. And we could hear the friggin' water. There's this coming, you know what I mean? And we were in a canal, it's probably maybe, I don't know. Oh shit, I don't know. I mean, I must have been, you know, not very tall, but we could hear the water and we could hear it coming, and luckily the canal was not straight up, it was kind of on a slant, you know what I mean? So we kind of grabbed their bikes, ran up, and then just made it in time, and the water just started coming. So that's another example of us friggin' nearly dying. You know, climbing trees. Shit, I had this big, massive, probably 15-metre tree. I used to climb the thing every day, get up there, get a little bowl of, get a little like a tin, fill some bird seed in there, put it onto the tree, climb back down, had this little cardboard box, an old friggin' fridge box or something, climb in it, used to spray paint it green to camo it, you know what I mean? Get there with my BB gun and just wait for the birds to come to the seeds and pop them off. You know, fun and games when I was young. And I climbed that friggin' tree, branch fucking broke, I fell straight down probably 5 metres, didn't hit the ground. I had this plant that my mum trimmed. They had all these kind of, you know, these little stumps and branches coming out. And when I fell, me here got stuck in between a fork, and bang, it stopped my fall and stopped me from hitting the floor, but I was wedged. I was stuck there. I was stuck there for friggin' 5 hours. Why? Because my mum was next door having a coffee, whatever. I didn't know what I was doing at home. I would have been 10. And I was just hanging there for 5 hours, just hanging there. I was screaming, no one would help me, no one was home, no one could hear me. And then after an hour of screaming, I just started hanging around, you know, seeing ants, just started squashing them. You know, just doing shit. My mum came home, started screaming, "Oh, what's wrong? Get me the fuck out." So, you know, there's another example of me nearly fucking dying. You know, again going back to jumping around the roofs of the houses in my dead-end street. You know, one day I slipped off a garage. I fell straight on my friggin' tailbone. Bang. Fuck, did that hurt. My cousin's farm. We thought it'd be fun and wise to go there with a slingshot and start shooting the bulls. Well, we learned our lesson quick smart. We shot the bull. He fucking chased us. Chased us for about 50 metres. Luckily we were fast little pricks, but he chased us. And we came onto this ramp thing, you know, and we jumped over it and the bull, boom, hit the thing. You know, it was just there in front of us and it was trying to get us, and then my cousin climbed over the shed, climbed straight over the shed, would have been a double-storey shed, and it was on the farm. He grabbed his dad's shotgun and shot the bull in the head and killed it. Our uncle basically killed us that day. So there's another example of us nearly dying. 13 years old. My dad had a Ford Corona. Can't remember what model it is, but it was a Ford Corona. And you could open the friggin' thing with like a nail file, you know, with a woman's nail file. You open the door up, and somehow at 13 I figured out how to copy the key. And I used to push the car out of the driveway, get to the street, then push the car out of the street, then start up and hoon off. And at 13 years old I was hooning around my dad's car. I did that till I was about 15. They never caught me. And you know, 13, going around the parks, doing donuts, dodging trees, doing donuts on the street. You know, could hardly see over the steering wheel, but did it anyway, and got away with it. I mean, there's just some of the examples of me growing up in the 1980s, and it was friggin' fun, you know, slingshots, bow and arrows, blowguns. I reckon I would have made about 50 different weapons. You know, a little 10-year-old using the grinder and using the bench saw and using all these power tools that can cut your hand off. And parents, yeah, they'd be inside and watching TV and didn't even think what I was doing. These days, as my son walks to my shed, I go, "Hey, what are you doing?" Not that I've got a lot of dangerous stuff lying around here, everything's pretty much locked up, but still you just don't know. Maybe it's just me being paranoid, but it's a different mentality back growing up in the 1980s. You know, you could leave your friggin' door open and not worry about any intruders. You could have semi-automatic weapons back in those days. You know, just good days to grow up. I'm glad I did grow up in that era. I'm pretty sure the guys that grew up in the 60s and 50s and 40s probably had more fun than me, but luckily I grew up in an era where the government didn't ban too many things, and kids could be kids and kids could have fun. You know, there was no computer games, there was no shit like that. I mean, at one stage it was the Atari or Commodore 64 computer and Donkey Kong and shit like that. Well, there was Donkey Kong, I remember that in friggin' 2nd or 3rd class. So yeah, there was Donkey Kong, you know. And for you guys that aren't 40 or you know, if you're 20, Donkey Kong was like a DS or something like that. So yeah, got to a lot of mischief and had a lot of fun. And I used to make booby traps for my brother. He was 3 years younger. He'd bring his mates over, and I'd make some booby traps, and you know, they'd walk past, and I'd make like a, you know, a thing where it'd wrap around their legs, and they'd be hanging upside down. Well, not upside down completely, but you know, on their back anyway. Used to lock my brother and his friends up in my tin shed, my father's tin shed, and get my BB gun and start shooting through the tin shed and listen to the ball bearing go ding 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 pa ah, ding 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 pa ah. And I thought it was fun. You know, grabbing lizards, sticker taping them to a leaf, and then getting the magnifying glass and burning their tails off. It's a bit evil, but I thought it was fun back then. Didn't kill them, just burnt their tail off. Shit like that. So anyway, it's been nearly 15 minutes of my rant. I'd love to hear your comments, or I'd love to hear a VR response via video on what you guys got up to when you were growing up in the 80s or 60s or 70s or 40s or whatever, and hear your stuff on what you got up to. And yeah, so just a bit of a rant. I'm a bit pissed. Not pissed, but I'm tipsy. I feel good. I'm just remembering the good old days, so cheers.